Utah Foster Care was created 25 years ago, and I've been here the entire time that the doors have been open. And to see where we started with the vision of making child welfare better in Utah and working diligently for the last 25 years to make that happen. At the time of the creation of Utah Foster Care, the number of families was going down, and as a state agency, we're having a hard time recruiting and retaining families.
Just after I was elected, there was actually a lawsuit brought by a public interest law firm against the state of Utah, indicating that we were not providing the kind of protective services that should be provided. I approached, as governor, a handful of people in our state who have been very generous in other ways. I asked them to donate large sums of money to a new foundation that would be established for the purpose of training and recruiting foster care families. And to my great pleasure, they accepted. And the Utah Foster Care Foundation was born.
Because of that lawsuit and the settlement agreement, funds were coming in and caseworkers were being hired, and lots of different practices were changing to make the child welfare space safer and better suited to really care for kids in need and families that needed that support. And the creation of Utah Foster Care was one of those changes that people were really excited about.
It was wonderful to see, especially from the lens of the Child Protection Ombuds, to see that improvement in the services that children were provided, their medical care increasing, getting their behavioral and mental health needs met, and just really ensuring that children had a loving, safe home and being able to support those foster families in achieving that.
So my first memory of the Utah Foster Care is we were invited to an event. And I just remember we went there, and it was so neat because there was all these other foster families there, and you know, we hadn't really had that experience. But then what made it really special is Utah Foster Care made sure that every one of the kids came home with a blanket. And you know, I just remember the smiles on their faces, and it was theirs. It was their blanket. And just that impact that they had on each one of the kids.
We realize that not everybody is in a position to be a foster parent at this time, and so also allowing people to realize that there are so many ways that they can step into this space and be involved. They can be a volunteer, they can be a donor, they can put together care packages, they can work with their businesses, their church congregations, their neighborhoods, and look for any way that they can support a foster family.
Well, originally we got involved because there was a family in our neighborhood that had brought in 4 different foster children, and they ended up being basically the same age as my children, so we had a lot of interaction with them. And I knew at the time that we weren't in a place to bring in children into our home, but I thought there's got to be a way, besides just donating clothes or resources, that maybe I could actually get physically involved with some volunteer work. And so we signed up online, looked at some volunteer opportunities, and they had kids night out, and we just played with kids for a couple hours while their foster parents were able to go out and do whatever they needed to do to rejuvenate, and it was really fun.
I have learned so many lessons with my partnership with Utah Foster Care, one of which is just the need for everyone in the space of child welfare to come together. I'm adjacent to government agencies, I'm adjacent to the nonprofit agencies, I'm adjacent to businesses who can connect and be a powerful support. And so for me to sort of sit in this nexus, I felt it was a unique position to really bring people together.
I would say this has been a unifying cause for Entrada to get behind. It doesn't matter your political affiliation or your religious beliefs or anything. This is a cause that it's really easy to get passionate about. And it's something that our employees have just thrown themselves into and really, really enjoyed being a part of.
We've had some of these Sunday dinners in Entrada that have, I think, have been the most impactful because it's not just a short interaction. We're there, we're serving them, we're eating together, we're hearing their stories, we're interacting with the kids, and those are the best times. I love the jazz games. I love going to the to the park and museums, but those moments when we're actually eating together, it's a time to really love and understand, and it's impactful.
The kids have been in and out of foster care since they were born, basically. I couldn't have asked for a better foster family that my kids were placed in at the time, because my boys were considered level 3s, so they had to get special certification to take the 2 of them into their home, which was extra steps they had to take, and it was just amazing to know that there's people like that out there.
The goal of foster care is working to make sure children in our state are safe and that they can land in a safe space with the foster family while their family heals. And ultimately, the children can be reunified with their biological parents.
So the support groups with the Utah Foster Care Foundation have just been fabulous. We can find trainings with bio, family, you know, how to maybe reunify them. There's so many trainings that are out there now with the Utah Foster Care that it's amazing, that resource for foster families to use.
Having Utah Foster Care is really important for a lot of kids because they might not have a family to go to, and having a family will support them and let them have a life that they need.
The biggest need of our organization right now is more foster families. We are seeing a nationwide struggle with finding foster families, and we're definitely seeing that in Utah as well.
The ultimate goal that I've stated many times is I want to make sure that families are so supported and we can recruit and retain the best possible families in this state so that we have families waiting for children instead of children waiting for families.
I think what I would tell foster parents when it comes to adopting is that this is going to be something that sticks with you for the rest of your life, and I think you're going to find so much enjoyment and fulfillment in doing so that you're really just going to be a better person for that.
If you can open your heart and your homes to these kids, I promise you it will change your lives for the better. It will make your life more enriched, you'll be happier, you'll have a better experience, and you can change the life of a person who desperately needs it. This is what's special about Utah, and we need you now more than ever.
If I had to describe Utah foster care with one word,
I think it would be
amazing,
hopeful,
transformative,
noble-service,
supportive,
courageous.
It would just be loving.